whenever I propose changes for games. I try to work with what is there and try to stay away from completely removing the game, moving things from the game unless it's extremely broken. Then you'll see it when I talk about the score streak system. So this is one thing where I really differ in opinion with Boo. Like yes, the score streak system has its issues, but the thing is, I think I see the intention of what they were trying to do, and I think it just needs more fine tuning. The thing is, sort of what I was originally thinking. I'm actually going to go into Paint for a second because I want to show you sort of what I was thinking with the score streak system. So just give me a moment. Capture Paint. Actually, do I have Paint already set up? No, I don't. I don't have Paint set up. Hold on. You guys are being awfully quiet in chat. It's making me nervous. Paint. Okay, so I have Paint here. Okay, so I have Paint. Alright, so basically what I was thinking with the score streak system. So if we have a I'm a science person. I like my graphs. Why is it freaking out? So this is frustrating. So if we have a graph, all right, rough graph. Okay, here's the point value. Okay. So here's the streaks, right? Oh, actually, no. Hold on. I'm just gonna clear the whole thing. Okay, so here's the streaks over here. All right, I'm gonna do a thing. Streaks. All right. Okay, we're gonna do that. Streaks there, and then we're gonna have the. Okay, I'm gonna reduce the size of that. It's too small. Point value here. Streaks here. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna assume you all know how to read graphs because you guys are very smart for watching Ian. So I'm gonna assume you guys know how to read a graph, and then we're gonna throw a big curveball at a third axis. Oh my god, that's crazy. Third axis. I don't know why that's a lot thinner, but that's okay. Third axis. All right. Here's the cooldown numbers. The cooldown timer. Right. Okay. So we're gonna make red the point values for the streaks. So the point values for the streaks are gonna be red. Okay. All right, guys. Red's gonna be the point values for the streaks. Okay. All right. So red's here, and blue is gonna be the cooldown timers. Right. Okay. We're creating our legend for the graph. All right. This is what I was thinking. Okay. So for the low end streaks, obviously they're going to be low point value. So this is sort of my ideal situation with the streaks. So obviously nothing's going to start at 0. We're going to start a little bit up here, and then it will see like exponential growth, something like that, right? So the higher end streaks you get, the more score. So the score in theory for the streaks should be exponential, just because they persist after death. Right. So is everyone following? Because since your streaks persist after death, the higher tier streaks should be exponentially higher than the ones before them. Right? That makes sense? Okay. So with the cooldown timers. Whoa! What was that? Hold on. Whoa! Gamer Boy Bathwater with the $10 donation. Thank you very much. I need to pull up that message. What was that? I missed the message. I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. I need to pull that up. I appreciate that, Gamer Boy. Give me 1 moment. I missed the message on that. Hold on. I will pull that up. Yeah, Gamer Boy is lurking. Let's see. Good day, Rice Man. Well, good day to you, Gamer Boy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so where were we? So, uh, hopefully everyone's following. The higher streak you get, the more exponential the point value should be. And then what happens here, right, is because is with the cooldown timers now. So we're going to be using blue. It should start off low, right? I don't have like a set value. That's going to have to be fine tuned later on. But this is what the cooldown timer should look like, right? Does everyone see why? Does everyone see why I think it should be like this? And I'm actually going to add a little thing. I'm going to add a little thing here too. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you would have seen me tweet about this a couple times. So on the right hand axis, it's not just the cooldown timer, but that's the distribution of player skill, right? So the cooldown timer should reflect the distribution of skill, right? Because you don't want to have the cooldown be ridiculously high for the really bad players, right? Because if a really bad player ends up getting like having a really good game and ends up getting like 2 RCXDs, let's say, they wouldn't be able to call it in. They wouldn't be able to call in their second one, right? And that would be really demotivating. But also for the lower tier streaks, most people most average players and better won't be really running the lower tier streaks. They'll be running like sort of like the sort of like middle tier to the higher end streaks, right? That's what a majority of the player base runs, aside from like the UAV, which is normally a lower tier streak. So so in reality, what you want are the mid tier streaks, the things that most people are going to be using, right? You want these streaks to have the longer cooldowns, and then the higher end streaks, you don't want to punish the really good players. So maybe it won't go back to the same cooldown level as the start, but maybe let's erase this a little bit. Let's erase that. Right, so maybe it'll sort of plateau a little higher than the starting point, right? So you don't want to punish the higher end players, because if they're able to get the chopper gunner and able to get multiple, you want them to be able to call in multiple without too much punishment, right? But the thing is, these mid tier streaks, the things that people are going to be earning the most often, if Treyarch really wants to produce the amount of streak spam in the game, all these mid tier streaks should have higher relative cooldowns than the lower tier streaks and the higher tier streaks. Hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with that. But yeah, that's sort of my thought process with how ideally the streak system would work. But that's not how it was implemented, because so what it is right now, or at least in the beta, so the red stays true. So this is, I'm going to do a little thing down here. What actually happened in beta. Yeah, so this is what actually happened in the beta. So I'm going to do a little thingy here, right? Okay, so purple. This is what happened. So let's pretend this is like 30 seconds, 30-second cooldown. It's just flat line. That's not how it should be, right? Because not every streak is weighted the same, right? Because an RCXD is not a chopper gunner, right? A UAV is not the napalm strike, right? So the thing is, certain streaks should have a lower or higher cooldown based on the actual impact that they have on the game and how easy they are to get. So the mid-tier streaks are easy enough for a majority of the player base to get. So these are the ones you're going to be seeing spammed most often. So these should have the longer cooldowns. I'm downloading Alien Isolation. Very nice, Gamer Boy. Thank you again for the donation. But yeah, so this is where the issue with streaks comes in for me. I do think that they can fine tune it and eventually make it good, but at the point where it was in the beta, it was not, right. So in reality, what I think they should do. So let's pretend the UAV is around like here ish. What they should do is, because this is sort of like a support style streak. This is what it should kind of look like. So there should be a little tiny bump where the UAV is, and then go up, right? Because the UAV is going to be spammed a lot, so there should be a slight increase here with the cooldown, and that's where the fine tuning comes in. So for like the advanced UAV, it's going to be a much higher end streak, or whatever they're going to be calling it, the VSAT, Blackbird, whatever. It'll be somewhere up here, so you don't necessarily need that little sort of bump in the cooldown. But since the UAV is a low tier streak and it's extremely useful, that's where. So if you start off low, so maybe this is like a 15-second cooldown for the RCXD. Hey, Cookie in the Face, welcome. I'm supposed to be writing my blog post, but yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about the score streak system in Cold War and what should happen. So let's pretend the RCXD is around like here-ish, and it has like a 15-second cooldown. If it were just to follow what I had here with the blue, then in theory you would think like, oh, maybe it should get like a 20-second cooldown, maybe a 25-second cooldown. If they up it to maybe like a 30-second, because I'm pretty sure there's some stuff in between, some streaks in between the RCXD and UAV. If they make this, if they make the cooldown higher for the UAV than the two next to it, I think that's fair, right? Because there's more utility being brought with the UAV than like the RCXD or whatever came after it, right? So like that's where the fine tuning comes in. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, time to go back to to the actual article that I was trying to write. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with that. I don't necessarily think it's a objectively bad system, but like, and all like the people like hyperbolically saying like before people actually had a chance to play it, saying that little noob Timmy is going to be getting chopper guns. Like, no, they're not, because hold on, I'm going to pull it up again. Because if you look at the red, that's the high end streak. If the point values are distributed exponentially, little Timmy won't be getting his chopper gunner, right? But the thing is, it guarantees that he's at least going to be able to get his UAV and help his team, right? And I think that's more useful than basically just screwing over the new players who aren't very good. Because the thing is, in my opinion, I think they should maybe stack the lower end streaks with more like support stuff. Because if there's a bad player, like, they'll at least be contributing something to their team with like a UAV, or like I think I saw body armor, which I'm not a fan of really. But if they do add body armor, I'm pretty sure they did make it a low end streak, where even if you're not the greatest player, you're at least kind of guaranteed to get those things, and that adds value to your team, right? So you're not just, so if you're doing really badly, you're not just dead weight, but you're actually still contributing maybe like at least one UAV or like a thing of body armor, right? I genuinely believe the only way this could be salvaged is removing the cooldowns. Yeah, like the cooldown system is interesting, but I don't really like the thing is, the cooldowns help them with what their original goal was with the streaks, with this whole streak system in general. So it was designed to reduce spam. So the cooldowns do accomplish that, but the thing is, they have to fine tune it where they still allow people who are doing well to call in those streaks, and but still keep it at a point where they're not overwhelming. I think it would be much better to revert to the old system. Yeah, like the thing is, technically speaking, obviously I'm no game developer, But with the system that they have in place, it shouldn't be that difficult to revert it back to like how it was in like past Treyarch games, because like all you have to do is just like lower the other point values and make it so the points don't roll over to your next life. Like that shouldn't be too technically difficult. So like if they really need to, I'm sure they can just revert back to that old system without really much issue. Um, but yeah. But the thing is, all this stuff is stuff that I haven't written down yet in my little blog post. So we will get to that eventually. It's demotivating to have it on cooldown. To an extent, yes, because especially with how it was in Cold War, where you had to wait until your streak was destroyed or after. Oh no, there was still a cooldown, right? Because so for example, I think they reduced the cooldown to like 30 seconds. So if you call in your UAV, for 30 seconds after you call in your UAV, you can't earn any points towards it. So that's demotivating. But if you at least still earn some score towards it, and then just are prevented from calling it in until the 30 seconds is up, I think that's better. But the thing is, like for like the sentry gun, for example, like you had to wait for your sentry gun to be destroyed or have its own timer run out before the cooldown kicks in, and I don't agree with that. But again, if this receives tuning like before launch or like not too long after, I think this system could work, but it does need a lot of work. Yeah, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, we've talked enough about streaks. We've talked enough about the streaks.